What are your pain points? That's my question. What are your pain points? And I'm hoping that in the comments you'll let me know, if you have the courage to let me know what your pain points are. Whether I assist rescues or student athletes or businesses, they all pretty much have almost the same pain points. They deal with, they say they're not respected, they're not valued, they're not appreciated. They're always struggling, they're always suffering, or they don't believe in themselves, or they don't know who they are, or that they're getting different diagnoses from doctors and stuff. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know I appreciate you for being here. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Please subscribe and hit the like button. It really does something to the algorithm and pushes this out to more people who might not normally see it. Thank you so much. And now, a little bit about me real quick is that if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal, had over 5,000 cancerous tumors in my body. Didn't do the required doses of chemo. I was being divinely led down a different path, and I was completely cancer-free in 6 months, and have been. But then, somewhere along the way, I was bedbound for 8 years, and the doctors, been to over 100 infectious disease doctors, they couldn't figure out what was going on, and in that time frame, both my parents and 14 family and friends had transitioned back to the spiritual realm. I don't like to say die because I don't believe there's any death, because we're here as spiritual beings in a physical body. I like to say if you believe it, because just because I believe it doesn't mean you have to believe it. You decide what you believe. Don't believe what other people are telling you to believe. And this is where I think suffering and struggles come from. When I visit with nonprofits and charities, especially animal rescues, I think a lot of suffering and struggling in life comes from labels. You're calling yourself something labeled, whether you call yourself Christian, whether you call yourself black, whether you call yourself white, whether you call yourself transgender, whether you call yourself Buddhist or Jewish, whether you call yourself little, small. I think all 99% of suffering comes from labels we connect to us with. And labels are just an identity, but isn't our identity a spiritual being in a physical body? Isn't that our identity? Like, we are technically not our name, it's just a name someone gave us in this 3D world. But the creator knows who we are. The creator created us from the little tiniest cell. The creator knows how to heal ourselves. This is just something I've learned through the years. So the thing I like to tell people is when you believe something, when someone tells you something about yourself, like, it doesn't matter what anyone outside is telling you, because if you believe that you're in charge of your feelings, then when you get upset at someone outside of you, you're getting upset at you first. Because technically, if you believe this, you can't get upset at someone else before you get upset at yourself. You can't blame someone else before blaming yourself. You can't judge someone else before judging yourself. And I think all those things that you attributing to someone outside, you cause your own suffering and struggles. Because in reality, the creator of us, infinite intelligence, will never lead us down the wrong path. The creator knows that we are worthy. The creator knows that we are loved. The creator knows everything about us. So why would you believe anybody outside, whether it's a pastor, whether it's a psychologist, whether it's a doctor, whether it's your best friend, whether it's your teacher? Ask yourself, why do you believe? Like, ask you, why do you believe it? They usually say, well, someone said something. I said, so what? Anyone can say anything they want, but you don't have to believe what they say. The question is, why are you believing what's outside of you as opposed to believing what's inside you? Why aren't you believing? Whether you believe in Jesus Christ or God, whether you believe in Buddha, whether you believe in Jewish religion, doesn't matter. Why are you believing anything outside you when you know that the Creator is inside you and the Creator never makes mistakes? So when I was diagnosed with terminal stage 4 with over 5,000 cancerous tumors, they wanted me to do chemo. And I did 2 rounds of chemo. And back then, 2 rounds of chemo was 8 days. No, 10 days. 8 hours a day, all that chemo running through my body. And then I had an epiphany. Not an epiphany. I meditated, I prayed. I asked that question. I stood in my room that I was living in Newport Beach, California. I stood in my room and said, why am I believing the doctors when I was created by the infinite intelligence? Why am I believing a doctor about this? Why am I doing that? And as soon as then there, I was stopped chemo cold turkey, and I stopped chemo cold turkey. And then my oncologist called me every single day for 3 weeks, threatening that if I didn't come in, that I would die. Once you go inside and say, hey, why am I believing that? You'll notice that you're believing something based on what someone told you outside. Someone outside. You're believing, whether it's your parents or your grandparents, your pastors, your preachers, your doctors, your teachers, your friends, you're believing something about you from outside when you all you have to do is ask yourself inside, why do I believe in this? And once you ask that question, you'll get an answer. You balance yourself and breathe. You'll get an answer of why you believe it. And that answer will be based on something outside of you. Based on something outside of you. And you need to stop believing it. And remember, all your thoughts will lead to struggling and suffering. And because if you label something as incurable or terminal, which is just a word, it's not even true, then it's going to cause you suffering or struggling. If you connect with a diagnosis because someone gave you a diagnosis, that's going to cause suffering and struggling because you're connecting with the diagnosis rather than connecting with the God within you. So if you know the divine within you never makes mistakes, and the divine in you is not leading you to that diagnosis. Because I kind of get caught up in the fact that my doctors wanted to put me on hospice because they gave up on me and they said, we don't know what's going on, we don't know how to heal you, we're just going to put you on hospice. And I said, no, this is not my life. This has never been my life. Let's not call it struggle, okay? Let's change that word. Let's not say struggle. Let's not say suffering. Let's call it an experience. I didn't want the experience of being in hospice. I didn't want the experience of any negativity anymore. I just wanted to know that I know that the creator of my being knows everything about me, is never going to lead me down the wrong path. So why am I focusing on anything out there when I need to focus on here? So now every day I say, divine law and order governs my whole being. Or divine law and order governs my mind, body, and spirit. Divine love governs my life. I do that so this way I focus more on the higher self, the infinite intelligence, my creator. It doesn't matter what you call the creator. Inside. And totally focus on the creator. Inside. Like, I don't like to get up from, even though I know I have to do things like this video, I don't like to get up from my bed unless I have a conversation with my creator. And then my creator will direct my path. Even this video is a direction of my creator telling me to do this video. What are your pain points? How can my channel, Voices of American Rescue, help you with your pain points? American Rescue. Rescue. We go to rescues. I travel through rescues. But if I'm rescuing you, it's still a rescue. You don't have to have a non-profit for me to help you in a rescue. I just gave you a bunch of stuff. Ask yourself, why do you believe it? If there's something outside of you saying that that's why you believe it, you need to ask yourself, why you believe in someone outside you? And go deep inside and discover that 99% of the stuff you believe is false about you. That was a deep one, wasn't it? Most people never slow down enough to ask themselves the questions that could actually set them free. But you can. Right now. Just pause, breathe, quiet the noise, be still, and align with the divine within you. And when you're ready, ask yourself, why am I believing this about me? Or even deeper, who is having these thoughts? And then just listen. Whether you hear an answer or only silence, both are sacred. Because this, right here, is where real transformation begins. I look forward to meeting you again in the next video. And remember, every story I share on Voices of American Rescue is meant to guide you back to your own truth through authentic, vulnerable storytelling through the power of presence. So stay with me as your breakthrough might be the very next story. Give yourself time. Give yourself the love you need. Thank you for sharing space with me.